Now, just a little warning before we begin. There will be major spoilers in this video for the 5th episode of She-Hulk. So, if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want anything ruined, it is a really good time to click away. All right. What did you think about episode number 5? What was the name of this one again?
Oh, you know what the name was because I just told it to you and I asked you to read it and you said you wouldn't.
I usually say the episode number anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, so I have to say it?
Yeah.
Mean green and straight poured into these jeans.
Like you said it like you were just reading words.
Because I was just reading words off of a piece of paper.
Oh my god. This episode, it did something right.
It had a moment. I'll say it had one moment. A
couple of moments.
For me, it had one moment.
But the biggest thing I think they did right is they kind of, in a way, acknowledged how cringy all of her dating stuff was.
Well, yeah, but
because she was embarrassed of it.
But
she had to, be embarrassed for her actions. And I was kind of happy about that. And they're like, no, let's make you feel sad because that one guy just wasn't into her. And
well, that was the best moment of the series.
It really was.
I know that sounds horrible that the best moment of the series is her feeling horrible. But it actually gave you a little something.
It showed emotion.
And don't get me wrong, in general, I thought this episode was maybe the most boring. But it had a moment.
I actually liked the lawyer stuff, too.
The lawyer stuff?
You know, the court stuff. I thought Miss Book, I believe her name was, very good lawyery
sure,
stuff.
Very.
I like that.
I guess so. I mean, I love that how trials and stuff in films and movie or shows, whatever this is, are sometimes 2 minutes of we got this evidence and we got this. I'm going to make my decision now in 30 seconds. Yeah. If only our legal system worked like that, huh?
No, usually they're very long and drawn out processes.
Yes, very, very long, drawn out. Years it could take for single cases, especially when it comes to something like a massive copyright like this. With I'm assuming Titania's company is big or huge.
She's making plenty of money.
She would have a team of lawyers. It would take years.
What do you think about Alphonse, the superhero dresser?
I have the same problem I have with the fact that nobody seems to know who She-Hulk is. We apparently live in a world where there's just tons of superheroes now. And look, I know there's quite a few, don't get me wrong, but to me, you'd still be pretty rare to be a superhero. You'd still be, couple hundred at the very most superheroes and villains at this time? Mm-hmm. I mean, that we know of. It would be kind of fun to list off how many, known superheroes on Earth there are right now that we, the audience know about. So the fact that he's running this underground, build or make costumes for all these different superheroes just kind of feels like, really? Don't most of them find a better, different way? How would they find you? Well, I don't know. It's silly. It's supposed to be silly fun. Yes, I realize that. But I'm kind of just getting sick of the silly fun. I don't particularly like silly fun in what used to be a pretty serious MCU, which isn't to say you can't ever do anything like that. You can't have fun. You can't do comedy. I'm not saying that, but it's so goofy and so silly that I'm like, oh, this is the same universe that a film Infinity War takes place, and it just doesn't. They're so contrasting and so different that I can't comprehend that this is the same universe anymore.
What I think is interesting is he's pretty much a direct ripoff of the movie Incredibles. Literally a direct ripoff.
Well, don't they own?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so they're free to do that.
Apparently,
Incredibles is canon now.
Incredibles is so popular and so well beloved. It's a really good family superhero-y type movie. And they're like, I know, let's try to make She-Hulk a little more akin to that. Maybe people will like it.
I like that Titania called her Shrek.
I love that.
Like that. I mean, that's kind of been what everybody's called her. So
yeah.
It's a little too on the nose almost.
Jack. Yeah. The other lawyer, Pug, did I never notice his accent before, or did he just have an accent this episode because he wanted collector shoes?
I still didn't notice the accent.
Cool. Then he probably always had it.
Probably.
It's funny because I know people who will stand in line for those Air Jordans and stuff when they come out.
Yeah, shoe collecting is huge, actually. I mean, granted, I collect action figures, so who am I to talk? But, it's one of those where they made a pretty decent point in the video. So you buy a pair to collect and one to just kind of sit there and look at. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you do. That's
Absolutely
what collecting is.
Do.
Having it to sit there and look at.
I think that they're heading towards something that they did in the She-Hulk comics. And now that I can see that, I definitely see it going there.
Why is it taking so long?
In the comic books, at the beginning, She-Hulk could transform back and forth at will. And then eventually, she just stopped. And they kind of explain it as, like, She-Hulk, the way She-Hulk looks, is the, like, personification of what Jennifer Walters wishes she was. Like, it's a subconscious thing that her looking that way with the hair and everything is subconsciously how, in the comics, Jennifer Walters wanted to look. And she has radiation absorption powers and stuff in the comics that they get into, which she may have, and they just haven't gotten into. But eventually, she kind of runs into a superhero and a villain, and it messes up her, like, physiology in a way that she can't change back anymore. But they kind of realize that it's probably not that she really can't do it. It's that she subconsciously doesn't want to do it. She wants to be She-Hulk.
So you think we're
heading that way
from her like totally not wanting to be She-Hulk to her just realizing that's exactly who she wants to be and not being able to change back?
Her persona and everything, she's more confident when she's She-Hulk. She's not this mousy person anymore.
Yeah.
She's confident, she's bold, and I think deep down those are the things she does want to be. So it kind of I'm hoping that's where they're going, that's what they're moving towards with the show, that maybe she doesn't like herself as Jennifer Walters and she feels as She-Hulk she can truly be who she wants to be, which would be an interesting thing that they're going for. It's just the show is usually so covered in garbage, it's hard to see that light through it.
It's very... I mean, in a way it's drawn out and too long, and in another way it's too short, because this episode was another 25-minute long episode.
Yeah. I even told you, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm getting numb to these.
Yeah, you did say that.
I did. Because I was like, maybe these aren't as bad, but either it's getting better or I'm literally getting numb.
To me, this is one of the worst episodes because it was just so boring. I don't care.
I almost feel like they do better when they do boring. Sorry.
I mean, what happened to the Wrecking Crew? And what happened
they'll be back.
Well, it's been like 3 episodes now.
And they teased our Daredevil.
Yeah, just to keep you, please come back. Here's
please
Daredevil's helmet.
Look, he's coming. We promise.
Yeah, like, goodness gracious. They had to put him in the... Like, seriously, but I think we joked about it in a different video the other day, how they put, like, the mid-season trailer for She-Hulk up, and all the comments are, can't wait to see Daredevil.
Daredevil!
It's like,
coming.
He is selling the show, and he's not even... all we've seen is a helmet.
He's this show's salvation.
And what is he going to... I mean, honestly, what is he going to do that's going to, like...
Lawyer.
Well... what is the character in this show going to do that makes people go, okay, She-Hulk was pretty good? And if that is the case,
people will just look at it and go, okay, Daredevil was pretty good.
The absolute irony of Daredevil, a man coming into She-Hulk, which is a very, it's very feminist themed, which is fine if that's what it wants to be. The irony of, like, Daredevil coming in and being the thing, like, everybody's like, oh my god, it was so good because of Daredevil, because of the man coming in. I think that's just going to be hilarious. Kind of sad, but kind of hilarious.
Well, maybe if they hadn't done Daredevil so good in the Netflix show.
We don't know how good they're going to do him in Marvel or in the MCU, though, do we?
Hopefully they literally just take that character and transpose him in and leave him the exact way that he was.
I think they're smart enough to do that, to realize that
the Kingpin pretty much they did that with. They dropped him just straight up. He was still...
Or less,
He acted the same and everything. They may have changed his his empire a little bit.
He certainly wasn't as, rich and powerful as he was in Daredevil or the Netflix series. Well, maybe that's the beginning, his humble beginnings, and now he'll be in this world of 800 superheroes. Mafia. He's going to be, the tracksuit mafia.
At least they're comfortable.
At least they're comfortable. They straight poured into those tracksuits. But no, it's funny to me how everybody's just waiting for Daredevil.
That's what we're at. We're at the waiting for Daredevil phase. I think he's going to be in there for multiple episodes. He's going to finish out the arc. I mean, we've got 4 episodes to go, and Daredevil has to be in at least one of them, right?
Yeah.
What? Right?
Like, something has to happen, too. Like, we have to have...
a reason for her to start superheroing.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what we need. A reason for her to actually embrace the last pieces of herself.
Yes.
To be like, I do have a responsibility. And he's the one who's going to draw that out of her. We already saw that in the mid-season. That he's the one who's going to make her understand that, yes, as Jennifer Walters, as a lawyer, you can do great things. But, as he said, when the law fails, there's She-Hulk.
Which is a kind of sad thing to have to say, but yeah.
Yes. Jennifer Walters is there for when
Yeah, but when the law fail,
yeah.
I mean, it's a great line, but like I said, it's kind of a sad commentary on
Right.
sometimes the law does fail, right?
Sad but true.
Yeah.
Sad but true.
All right, but anyway, that is all we got for you this time. So take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought about this week's episode of She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
There it is. Assuming you did indeed watch it, which not everybody does. But anyway, tell us what you think. Let's talk some Marvel. And until next time, thanks for watching.
She-Hulk.